A 25-year-old woman lies on an exam table with her legs spread wide, waiting for the doctor to check if she's still a virgin. Her conservative mother stands nearby, staring daggers at her, all because she'd spent an hour out with her fiancé the night before. Mama instantly suspected she'd lost her chastity. The doctor's answer mirrors the one from her virginity check 10 years prior. Your daughter is intact, the problem is your mindset. However, Mama feels no remorse, muttering prayers of gratitude that the family name remains untainted. Nalin feels a wave of disgust. No sooner do they step outside than a horde of reporters swarms them. Spotting the gynecology clinic, their imaginations run wild, shouting questions about whether Nalin is pregnant before marriage. Nalin remains silent, quickly escaping in her car. While she's having a breakdown, her fiancé is having a rendezvous with his lover on a mountaintop. Hannah blames him for taking Nalin to the secret base that was supposed to be a playground for both of them. And if anyone found out, it would ruin his chances of marrying Nalin. Sedat explains that he didn't want to go either, but had to in order to escape the reporter's tracking. In order to ease Nalin's suspicions, Kenna hatches a scheme. Tell her the things in the house were left by previous tenants. You're too busy to have had time to clean them out. She then advises Sedat to buy a necklace for Nalin to sweeten the apology. Unbeknownst to them, paparazzi snap photos of every move. An hour later, Sedat follows Kenna's script, meeting Nalin at a cafe to explain the base. He presents the necklace as an apology, fastening it around her neck himself. The second his fingertips brush her skin, memories of Nalin's recent wet dreams flood back. It's as if everything is now real. Her prince come to save her is standing right here. With this flurry of flirtatious maneuvers, Sedat has Nalin completely under his spell. Meanwhile, the paparazzi send photos of his tryst with his lover to his father. Mr. Koroglu erupts in fury. If these photos leak, not only will the entire family's reputation be ruined, but the company's stock will plummet too. Selin, at a loss for how to fix things, knocks on her reclusive older brother's door for help. Her brother had wanted to stay out of it, but with the family's survival at stake, he has no choice but to step in. It turns out Muzo, the eldest son of the Koroglu family, suffers from hunchback. He spends most of his time cooped up in his room, ignoring the world outside. Mr. Koroglu wants to buy off the paparazzi to suppress the scandal with money. Musa stops him saying, "This isn't something money can fix. You need to use your brain." If they were after money, they would have called to blackmail us already. Just as everyone is stuck, Sedat returns. After seeing the photos, he forces a calm demeanor, lying that he hasn't seen Kana in ages and that the pictures were taken before he even met Nalin. But the engagement ring on his finger gives him away. Mr. Koroglu angrily slaps him in the face with the pictures, roaring that he is a spoiled, worthless excuse for a man devoid of any masculinity. He cuts up all of Sedat's bank cards, cutting off every source of his income. As punishment, he orders the butler to lock Sedat in a room. No one is to let him out without his permission. To prevent further trouble, Mr. Koroglu decides to finalize the marriage as soon as possible. Mrs. Koroglu and Selin, acting on his orders, lower themselves to curry favor with Nalan and her mother, inviting them to a bridal shop to discuss wedding arrangements. Surrounded by beautiful wedding dresses, Nalin's eyes light up with anticipation. But Mama refuses to let her wear dresses that show too much skin, insisting on picking one for her. Mrs. Koroglu and Selin think she's a stick in the mud, but they have no choice but to suffer in silence. When Nalin turns to go to the fitting room, they notice what looks like scars on her back. They ask Nalin with genuine concern why her back is so red. Mama immediately tenses up, fearing that Nalin would rat her out. Nalin lies, saying it's an allergy that will clear up on its own soon. Only then does her mother relax. At the thought of soon becoming Sedat's bride, Nalin's heart flutters wildly, unable to settle. In the evening, Nalin drifts into another dream, a sequel to the tale of Prince Charming and Snow White. A smile tugs involuntarily at her lips. Unfortunately, Mama catches her red-handed. Mama yanks her into the bathroom, turns on the shower, and drenches her with cold water. She fiercely interrogates Nalan about what she did with Sedat in her dreams. Shivering, Nalin denies everything, insisting she remembers nothing. But Mama is convinced that the devil has taken hold of her, turning her into a shameless woman. Early the next morning, Mama summons a powerful witch to exorcise Nalin's impure thoughts. This is no stranger to Nalin. As a child, she endured the same ordeal. The witch melting led into a boiling cauldron to brew holy water for exorcism. Mama forces Nalin to kneel in it. Scalded, tears stream down her face in torrents, yet she dares not make a sound. Now, as an adult, Nalin is still enduring this torment. As the corset is laced onto her, the amulet in her hand transforms into a butterfly fluttering through the air. Perhaps this is the freedom Nalan has long yearned for deep in her heart. But reality, unforgiving as ever, shows no mercy. The front page headline of today's newspaper screams, Sedat's scandal with Kana. Nalan chokes on sobs, finally realizing Sedat has been toying with her all along. Mama tears the newspaper to shreds in a rage, ordering Nalin to yank off the ring immediately. The marriage is off, those people are no good, and I will defend our family's honor with my last breath. Watching her daughters sobbing uncontrollably, Mama reaches out a first and wipes her tears, offering comfort. It's not your fault. Don't grieve over that scumbag. Meanwhile, Sedat's entire family sees the news too, and they start scurrying around like headless chickens, frantic and disorganized. They try every trick in the book to suppress the story, but it's already out there. Mr. Koroglu is absolutely furious and explodes in front of everyone, raging, "How will I ever have the face to meet Nalin's family after this?" It falls to clever Muzo to save the day. He suggests to his father, "Since this mess started with Kana, why not turn the tables and set a trap? Pretend Mom's having a birthday, invite Kana to the dinner party, then we'll all play along. Say Kana is the daughter of an old friend of yours." That should put Nalin's family's doubts to rest. Soon, they split up to put the plan in motion. Selin heads to the park, pretending to run into Nalin, and explains the tabloid stories are just a misunderstanding. "My dad and Kana's dad are close. He practically thinks of her as his own daughter. Besides, Kana's already married with 2 kids. The idea that she's having an affair with Sedat is ridiculous. Nalin insists, the one thing I can't stand is being cheated on." Selin takes Nalin's hand, swearing, "Our family's got a good name. We'd never stoop to something that dirty. Everyone's been looking forward to you joining our family, treating you like a precious gem." Nalin is so innocent that she actually believes it. Meanwhile, Sedat, following his father's orders, goes to talk to Kana. Kana can barely believe it. Mr. Koroglu, who's always looked down on her, actually needs her help. Her curiosity to see the drama unfold spikes, and she agrees to the dinner without hesitation. Next, Mrs. Koroglu swallows her pride and calls Mama, lying that she's having a birthday tomorrow and inviting her family to the party. Though Mama is seething, she doesn't turn down the invite. Mama specifically tells Nalin to wear her ring. "I'm going to get justice for you in front of that family." The next evening, Nalin and her parents arrive at Sedat's house, dressed in their finest. Kana comes out to greet them warmly, welcoming them in. Nalin's family is stunned, frozen in their tracks. Isn't that the woman Sedat was cheating with? What on earth is she doing here? Mr. Koroglu hurries over to smooth things over, explaining, "Kana is the daughter of an old friend of mine. Sedat's always looked up to her like a sister. The day they were photographed, Kana was having a fight with her husband. Sedat was just comforting her as a brother would." They commit fully to the act. They even hire people to pretend to be Kana's husband and kids, making the whole scandal look like a farce. At the dinner table, Mr. Koroglu keeps emphasizing, "We're a big, loving family. Those news stories are totally made up." Watching Mr. Koroglu give his wife a birthday gift, Mama gradually eases her suspicions. They do seem genuinely happy. After dinner, the young people sit in the yard chatting. Nalan keeps praising Nalan as a wonderful girl, telling Sedat he must cherish her. Just then, Nalin feels a bit cold. Selma shoots Sedat a look, silently signaling his chance to act. He takes the hint, slips off his coat, and drapes it over Nalin's shoulders. The gentlemanly gesture moves her deeply. Selma then makes an excuse about going to cut the cake, leaving them alone together. Sedat explains to Nalan that he'd only gone out to lunch with his sister, and the reporters had twisted things, smearing them with lies. To put her at ease, he adds that if she doesn't like it here, they can move abroad after marriage. Nalin's love for him grows even stronger. Inside the house, Mr. Koroglu assures Mama earnestly, "If anyone dares to disrespect my daughter-in-law, I'll punish them severely." Mama makes her stance clear in return. "If any of you do something too wrong, Nalan, I'll call off this marriage immediately." Once their talk ends, Mama hurries out to the yard, saying she needs a word with Nalin. Sedat steps away to give them privacy. Mama's temper flares instantly. She scolds Nalan. Unmarried as she is, she should keep her distance from Sedat and never let him drape his coat over her like that. As Nalin takes off the coat, a gift box tumbles out of the pocket. She opens it to find an expensive bracelet. Assuming it's a gift from Sedat, she's delighted and slips it back into the pocket. Once back inside, Nalan returns Sedat's coat to him. Watching this, Kana's jealousy boils over. She makes an excuse to go to the bathroom, shooting Sedat a meaningful glance. Sedat takes the hint. He fakes a call from a client and hurries off. He finds Kana at the stairwell where he gives her a bracelet as compensation. The two think they've pulled it off without a soul noticing, unaware that Muzo is watching every second of it on the security monitor. He mutters under his breath, "That damn fool's gonna mess everything up." Just as the two lean in for a kiss, Selin bursts through the door. Catching her brother in yet another shameful act, she snaps, "Get downstairs." She then corners Kana in the room, urging her to stop pestering Sedat. Otherwise, Mr. Koroglu will not let her go. Kana scoffs, "Your father doesn't scare me." Selin switches tactics, threatening her business. It turns out Kana's family relies entirely on Selin's family to keep their business afloat. This time, Kana backs down. Money, after all, matters more to her than Sedat. But she's got a knack for underhanded moves instead. Kana flicks her hair, deliberately flashing the bracelet on her wrist. Nalin's eyes lock onto it instantly. It's identical to the one she'd put back in Sedat's pocket. With a heartbreak, she understands that their relationship is far more than sibling-like. This shatters her last shred of tolerance. Muzo notices Nalan's odd behavior on the monitor. He remembers she'd already spotted that bracelet back at the door. This is really going to blow up. Nalan yanks off her diamond ring, her eyes brimming with tears. She stares at Sedat, then slaps the ring into his hand, a silent end to their engagement. Kana rolls her eyes, looking on with open disdain. Everyone freezes, confused, unsure what's happening. Back home, Mama peppers Nalin with questions, demanding to know why she'd acted so improperly. "We already promised Sedat's parents we'd give him another chance. The scandal was fake. Why'd you suddenly back out?" Faced with her mother's interrogation, Nalin remains silent, saying not a word about Sedat and Kana. On the other side, Mr. Koroglu is scolding Sedat. As he knows Nalin well, it is impossible for her to make this kind of decision without any reason. It must be that Sedat has done something wrong to Nalin. Sedat hangs his head in silence, enduring the tongue lashing. "This kind of heartless man isn't fit to be my son." Mr. Koroglu roars, threatening to disown Sedat and strip him of his inheritance. But Sedat couldn't care less about that. He fires back, "You've only ever yelled at me since I was a kid. You've never loved me. Even when I got bullied, you'd just call me weak and lock me in that dark room to reflect." Cutting ties with this cold father would mean he could be with Kana without holding back. Yet when Sedat suggests they run away together, taking her and the kids to start a new family, Kana cruelly rejects him. She calls him out for being so self-centered. "Without that inheritance, who'd even bother with you?" It's only then that Sedat realizes she'd just been after a cash cow, and he'd foolishly lost everything for her. Desperate, Sedat gets in his sports car and tears down the road, speeding recklessly. In just a few hours, he'd been cast aside by 3 people. Overwhelmed by emotion, he slams his foot on the gas. In a split second of carelessness, he collides head-on with an oncoming taxi. Selin is about to go to bed when she gets a call from the hospital. Sedat has been in an accident. She rushes to her parents' door, gasping for breath as she blurts out the bad news. Everyone races to the hospital at once. On the way, Selin calls Nalin, telling her, "Sedat couldn't handle the blow of your breaking off the engagement." He had a breakdown and got into a car accident. Nalan leaps out of bed at once, grabbing a coat to head out. She doesn't even stop to put on her corset. Her parents, unaware of the real reason behind Sedat's accident, still feel guilty over what happened. For this reason, Mama makes an exception and lets Nalin go out at night. Staring at his unconscious son, Mr. Koroglu is consumed by deep remorse. If I hadn't been so harsh with him, he thinks, he wouldn't be lying here on the brink of death. Mrs. Koroglu, devastated with worry. She contacts the most renowned surgeon to operate on her son, but even he can't guarantee success. After all, Sedat's injuries are so severe he might end up disabled. The whole family grieves, praying for a miracle. By the time Nalan's family arrive at the hospital, Sedat has already been wheeled into the operating room. Nalin blames herself entirely. I'd known taking off that ring would lead to this, I'd never have done it. Selin, seeing Nalan take the story at face value, finally lets out a small sigh of relief. Meanwhile, Kana, who's in the middle of removing her makeup, also gets news that Sedat is critically ill. She rushes to the hospital, but Sedat's family wants nothing to do with her. Selin shoves her up against the wall. That's enough. Cut the fake sympathy act. It turned out their secretary had just found out the accident had happened on the road back from Kana's address. Instantly, they realized Sedat had been to see her. This boy, we tried everything, but he just wouldn't learn, they lamented, at a loss for what to do. Hours later, the doctors emerged to announce the surgery is successful. Sedat won't be disabled, he just needs months of rest to recover. However, the taxi driver he crashed into isn't so lucky. He is still in critical condition, fighting for his life. Upon hearing this, Mama seems to have been severely traumatized. She keeps pounding her head. It turns out the taxi driver's ordeal has brought her daughter flooding back to her mind. Bombshell revelation: Nalin isn't actually her daughter's and she's her granddaughter. 26 years ago, her pregnant daughter was wheeled into the operating room and never came out alive. Doctors performed an emergency C-section to save the baby, Nalan, but couldn't save her daughter, who died from severe bleeding. At the time, Mama was unwilling to accept Nalin, seeing her as a disgrace. She had no idea when her daughter had gotten involved with a man, let alone who he was or where he was. Her husband knelt before her, begging her to take Nalin in. After all, the child is innocent, she's still part of our bloodline. In the end, Mama's heart softened. She went to the hospital to bring Nalin home, but with one condition: no man was ever to touch Nalin before marriage. She couldn't bear to see her granddaughter repeat her daughter's tragedy of being played by a man. Nalin has no idea about any of this. It's the first time she's seen Mama lose control like this, and she's absolutely terrified. Now both are in the hospital. One is her mother, the other is her sweetheart. As soon as Nalan walks into Sedat's ward, Mrs. Koroglu takes her hand and places it in his. Mrs. Koroglu genuinely adores Nalin, hoping she'll become her son's anchor. Kana, though, can only stand in the corner watching bitterly. She's not about to let Nalin get her way. After emergency treatment, the taxi driver survives but loses both legs forever. Sedat is overwhelmed by guilt. That day, Mr. Koroglu takes him to apologize in person, making him face the sin he's committed. His momentary mistake has inflicted permanent harm on someone else. The driver lives in a slum, supporting his whole family with his taxi work. Now stuck in bed without legs, his home is utterly destitute, no decent furniture at all, and he has 2 kids to raise. His youngest daughter isn't even a meter tall. Mr. Koroglu apologizes profusely, promising to cover all his medical costs and his family's future expenses. When the driver's wife asks who was driving the car that hit him, Sedat lies, "It was my chauffeur." Hearing the chauffeur also has a family to support, the wife chooses to forgive. This plunges Sedat into deeper remorse. His impulsive act has pushed an already struggling family into even worse straits. Accident is a harsh wake-up call for Sedat. He decides to turn over a new leaf, reconcile with his father, and make things right. Mr. Koroglu, too, realizes he's neglected his son's need for love, urging him to cherish a good girl like Nalin. Dot seeks out Nalin to apologize and explains the bracelet. He claims the gossip hurt Kayla's husband and kids badly, and he's grateful for her tolerance. The bracelet is just a simple thank you, nothing more. Nalin believes him, truly thinking she misunderstood Sedat and indirectly caused his accident. She has no idea it's all a lie. Sedat presses his advantage, pouring out his love to her. Nalan's guilt-ridden heart wavers instantly and they reconcile on the spot. Sedat takes out the diamond ring Nalin discarded earlier and proposes again. Nalin puts it on happily. Just then, the restaurant owner tells them reporters are swarming the entrance, ready to rush in. To avoid disturbing other guests, they decide to face the reporters together. In front of everyone and the cameras, Sedat declares he loves Nalan deeply and they're getting married soon. He takes her hand, their fingers interlacing. They look like a prince and princess, drawing envious glances from all. Us feels a whirlwind of emotions watching the news. He's fallen for Nalan's innocence and kindness, but now he can only silently wish her happiness. Sedat then calls Kana, telling her it's over, they'll stay out of each other's lives, and this call is their final goodbye. Kana acts calm and indifferent, but after hanging up, she stamps her feet in rage. She's not angry about the breakup itself, but that Sedat dumped her. To her, it's a humiliating disgrace. This is Maroon Recap. Check out my homepage and you'll see more recaps of Camdaki Kiz. I'm hastening to write and edit the next recap, so feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.